want to move to our cruise ship arrivals. The Honorable Secretary mentioned to us that for the period December 2014 to April 2015, total cruise arrivals increased to 51,273 from 15,000. Now that is a sizable increase, and that is something that is worthy of mention. What the Honorable Secretary does not say is that cruise ship passengers deposit almost no revenue to the tourism product in Tobago, or in any place for that matter. The cruise ships are floating hotels, floating all-inclusive entertainment centers, and their footprint on our economy, quite apart from polluting, is almost zero. This sentiment is also echoed by the tourist industry itself. What is needed is a comprehensive strategy to attract long-term visitors or short-stay visitors or overnight visitors. And if such a policy exists in the THA as we speak, it is clearly not working because 12 more people came. If such a policy exists, it is clearly not working because the Secretary goes on to tell us that we are still operating at under 50% capacity for our rooms. So somewhere along the line, there is a misalignment between the policy. I presume there is one, I do not know, but there is a misalignment between the policy and the result that the policy is creating. And that is a matter that needs urgent attention. The Honorable Secretary has told us that our occupancy rate in hotels for the period December 2014 to March 2015 was 55%, the same as the year before. So absolutely no growth. And he's mentioned to us that the occupancy rate in guest houses from 2014 to 2015 moved from 34% to 41%. Again, half of our rooms, more than half, continue to be unoccupied. The Secretary, the relevant Secretary, Secretary for Tourism, needs to clearly articulate what is the tourism policy, tell us why it is failing, tell us what your plan is to advance it, or quite frankly, stop reporting on a loss as if it were a win. The Secretary for Finance has indicated to us that the loan program approved $1.2 million for successful applicants over the last year. But a careful analysis of his figures indicates to us that in the last 12 years, the loan program has benefited 262 people. So in other words, 2 people a year get loans to access loans under this Enterprise Assistance Loan and Enterprise Assistant Grant Program. 2 people a year. More than that, when we look at his totals, we realize that these 2 people get on average about $2.2 million between them. So 2 loans a year, totaling $2.2 million. It means by sheer logic, each person gets about $1.1 million. So it means that when he says to us, in respect of the loan program, approximately $1.2 million was approved and disbursed to successful applicants over the last year, what he really means is that $1.2 million was disbursed to a successful applicant. You see, again, it is in our interest to go through the document, as dry and as uninteresting as it is, to really decide whether all the information is being told to us and how much of it is being withheld. The common thread through this entire document is ambition. It is an ambitious document. But that's about it. It lacks substance, it lacks direction, it lacks know-how, it lacks any discussion of a coordinated approach or plan towards Tobago's future. What it is a collection of good ideas packaged and labeled a budget. Of these good ideas, ladies and gentlemen, one of them is the zoo that the Secretary has decided that he will start this year in Tobago. A zoo. We need a zoo. He wants to do a zoo to showcase local animals and to offer them for research. So we are going to get an agouti zoo. We are going to get an agouti zoo with all local animals, agouti, whatever else we have. And we are going to offer these animals for research. Now tell me, is the Secretary for Finance serious? Are we supposed to accept that this is a carefully thought out plan that is supposed to enhance Tobago's development? Is it supposed to add to our tourism product? Is it supposed to add to our quality of life? A zoo? It is an insult. More than that, international trends suggest roundly against zoos. Roundly against zoos. So really and truly, the Honorable Secretary is taking us so far back that I'm not really sure what century he is in. The Secretary has mentioned that in his research, productivity in Tobago and general productivity in the service industry requires attention. The Secretary has told us that his research reveals poor work attitudes, bad attitudes to punctuality, high levels of absenteeism, time management of workers being a concern, and he goes on and on and on. What the Secretary does not do is that he does not link that to the increased spend in make-work programs. He does not link that to the ever-increasing and perennial spend in CPEP and on URP. And he tells us quite proudly again that he has budgeted a figure of $78 million for URP, $54 million for CPEP. So you complain on one hand that there's a problem with punctuality, there's a problem with a work ethic, that young people are not interested in work or are dissatisfied with, employers are dissatisfied with the quality of the young people coming into the workspace. Yet what do? You say, you know what? Notwithstanding all of that, come and eat our food. $78 million for make-work programs in URP. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us as a people to decide what is the quality of life we want to live, how we want to view ourselves, and what are the long-term plans and strategies that need to be put in place from a governance level to guarantee our dignity as a people and our quality of life going forward for future generations. It cannot be, with the greatest of respect, it cannot be that every year we continue to increase our spend on casual employment and expect to transform our economy. We encourage you to look out for the Tobago Forward's policy document, which will canvass in no uncertain terms our vision for creating a future that has dignity, for reducing make-work programs and creating an environment of sustainability, and for creating an employer, or an employee rather, with skills that are transferable and that have value throughout the region. Once again, we want to thank you for your indulgence on this matter, and we look forward to you publishing our printed matter as we continue to dissect this document over the next few weeks.